Let me ask you something real quick. If I took away your audience, your team, your money, could you still build something profitable? If your answer isn't hell yes, then you don't have a real business yet, because the truth is, you don't need 100,000 subscribers to get paid. In actuality, you don't even need 10,000. You don't need a $5,000 course to be credible. You just need a $47 digital product with real value and a game plan to scale it. And this video is that game plan. Now, this isn't any theory. This is the exact $47 game plan that made me over 7 figures online in my business with just one digital product doing a little over 900K. And I'm telling you, this game plan, it works if you work it, and it builds momentum and income really, really fast. Let's kill this myth right now. Starting low ticket doesn't mean that you're low value. It means that you understand how to earn trust. And it's only gonna take me about 5 minutes to break this down. So if you don't have 5 minutes to spare, then you're probably just never building an audience of people that actually trust you, and people buy stuff from people that they know, like, and trust. So if that's you, by all means, feel free to click off this video, go watch a cat video or something like that, and stay stuck in the content creation hamster wheel and keep wondering why people aren't buying your stuff. But look, a $47 digital product is not about the profit, it's about the positioning. You're not selling a digital product, you're selling a transformation. And once people taste results, they're way more likely to buy from you again at 10 times the price. If you're a fitness coach, that could be a 21-day meal plan. If you're a designer, that could be a Canva template pack for starters. If you're a credit expert, that could be an ebook about how to raise your credit score 50 points in 30 days. See, the point isn't the price, it's the pathway. And most people are trying to jump on $5,000 packages with zero trust built. This flips that. And there's 3 rules to making your first $47 digital product win. So number 1 is going to be the speed to result. Can your buyer get a quick win? Can they get a quick result? If the answer is yes, then you're golden. Number 2 is going to be the simplicity of delivery. The simplicity of delivery. Now, when I say the simplicity of delivery, I'm not only talking about how the product is delivered, like is it something that they can easily download? I'm talking about the simplicity of the delivery of consumption as well. Is it something that they can easily digest, whether it's a PDF or just an audio file or actual videos that they're consuming? Is it easy for them to consume and digest? Is the simplicity of delivery there? And number 3, which is the biggest one that most people really, really miss out on, is the specificity. That can be a tongue twister. Say that 3 times really fast. Specificity, specificity, specificity. I can do it. I might be a little special, but the specificity of the outcome. And I say most people really, really miss this because you have to be laser pinpoint specific with what your outcome is. So say somebody's in the business niche. They'll have a digital product about how to start a business. No, that's entirely too broad. It doesn't have a specific outcome for a specific person, right? So a better product would be how to land your first 3 clients in 10 days. Or somebody, they'll be in the health niche and they'll have a digital product about how to get fit. No, how about how to lose 20 pounds without counting calories? You see, that has a specific outcome. You don't have to guess about what it is that you're buying. And guess what? Ain't nobody about to spend damn near $50 or $47 for something to where they have to guess what they're gonna get. You make it crystal clear, you make it obvious, you make it dumb simple. And I use this acronym if you ever forget this, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Like, this isn't where you want to be super creative. You want to keep it so simple to where it's like even the dumbest of dumb person that exists out there in the world, they would understand exactly what it is that you have to offer. You don't want to keep people guessing. And this is your MVP. This isn't your masterpiece. And the MVP stands for minimal viable product. And this is what is holding so many people back as well, is that they're thinking that this product has to be perfect. They're thinking that this has to be a masterpiece, that this has to be the Mona Lisa. No, you have to create a minimal viable product. So something that is minimal enough to where you can get it done in a timely manner, but it's viable enough to get somebody a result. And the thing about the MVP is that you're always going to be crafting it. You can always be assessing it because you want to get something out into the marketplace so you can actually learn what it is that people want. So many people out here, they're making bad digital products. For one, they're not thinking about a specific outcome for a specific person, but for two, they don't even know for a fact what people actually need. They think they know what people need, and they spend so much time making what they think they need people need to be so perfect. But if you create that MVP and actually get it into the hands of real people within the marketplace, you can actually learn what people actually do need, because you can assess the data that you got from those people, to whereas you can refine your product, to whereas you can learn. That is where an MVP comes in. You don't create a perfect product on day one. You create a perfect product by learning, adjusting, refining, and repeating, by getting something in the hands of real people and getting feedback from those people. You always want to stay in feedback loops. And that right there might be the number one reason why most people can't be successful online, is because they're trying to stay online in their online business. But I'm telling you, the number one separator that you will have amongst the marketplace is that if you can stay as analog as possible in a digital world. So what I mean by this is, yeah, we want to build these online businesses, but we want to stay analog in a sense, because we want to have actual real life communication with the people that are going to be buying stuff from us. And through those feedback loops and through that communication that you have with real actual people, you'll be able to make your online business better, because you know what the real world people need. And here's why $47 works, both psychologically and strategically. So look, people, they buy stuff from people that they know, like, and trust. But people don't need to trust you 100% in order to buy from you at this price point. They just need to trust you enough. $47 removes the fear. It removes the pressure. It removes the, is this worth it, to why not? And it's priced at a point, which is my secret, it's priced at a point to where you can build a strong email list, all right? So let's say that you want to do some email marketing. You'll hear any guru out there talk about, oh, you need to build an email list. You need to give away a freebie as a lead magnet so you can build an email list so you can market to these people. But what they don't tell you is that majority, like a high clip, super high clip of that email list that you're going to be building from giving away all your free stuff, they're never going to buy anything. Majority of people that download free lead magnets that people give out to build their email list, they download everybody's freebie. They go to everybody's free webinar. They go to every free 3-day challenge. They go to every free 5-day challenge. They just freebie after freebie after freebie after freebie after freebie, and they never buy anything. But if you build an email list of proven buyers to where 100% of people on your email list purchased a low ticket digital product, then your email list value has gone up like immensely in value. And depending on what your digital product is, this $47 price point right here, even though it's low ticket, it can still be considered a premium digital product, and you can still brand yourself as a premium brand. So if I use myself for an example, like an ebook, selling the ebook for $47, that would kind of technically be considered expensive in the book world, because a New York Times best-selling author can't sell a physical, tangible book for $47, but Aston CEO sells ebooks for $47 and made 7 figures online selling one ebook for $47. It's a difference. And this $47, it does two magical things in business. And once you get these 2 things down, the money just starts flowing. It really does feel magical. So for one, it builds buyer momentum, right? So once someone gives you money, like literally any money, they're no longer a cold lead, they're a buyer. And guess what about buyers? Buyers buy more. A buyer is gonna be a buyer, and then that buyer is gonna buy some more stuff, and then they're always gonna buy. That's just why, just think about anytime you go into the store, right? Any store that you go into, the grocery store, Walmart, Target, whatever the store is, they pretty much know once you've bought from them, you're going to return to buy again and again and again and again. I go to Trader Joe's for my snacks. they do something about their snacks. They have the best snacks. Well, I'm pretty sure that Trader Joe's has done the research to know once they get somebody to come into their store and they buy something from them and they have a good experience, they're most likely going to return over and over and over and over and over again. It's the same thing in our online businesses. And here's a little known fact, a little secret between you and I. The best time to sell something to somebody is immediately after they purchase something. So you can upsell these people that buy your $47 product because you already have buyer momentum. And then secondly, it's a confidence booster. So once you start to get these $47 Stripe notifications and you just see them on your phone, $47, you start to think like, wow, I really can do this. Like, this is real, and you have tangible evidence that this is real. And that shift, it's worth way more than $47, and it's the confidence that makes you dangerous. The main separator between the successful entrepreneurs building businesses online and the unsuccessful is that the successful simply have the confidence that the unsuccessful lack. And why do the unsuccessful lack it? Typically, because they don't have proof. And since they don't have proof, they don't have confidence. And since they don't have confidence because they don't have proof, they don't think they can do anything. But anything else that they do in their life, they only do it because they're confident that they can do it. Now, you don't need to spend 2 months building this software. You can use a Google Doc or Canva or your phone. And a lot of times with these low ticket digital products, I get them created in one day. So this is a breakdown to how you can get it done in one day also. So first of all, brainstorm 3 fast win outcomes that you can provide to your audience or that your audience wants. And then pick the one that you feel most confident about that you could teach out in a very simple manner within a couple hours. Like if I didn't know anything about the subject and me and you were sitting down, could you explain it to me in a way to where I could comprehend it within our conversation? And then simply just outline it. All right, but this doesn't need to be any fancy outline. You don't need to use some type of software like Notion or something to make some fancy looking complicated outline. Just outline it as if you were texting a friend. It doesn't have to be some fancy format. Now, typically, how I said I typically get this done in a day. Now I'm thinking about it, might kind of be lying. So maybe 2 days, because I typically will do this part of it in one day, to whereas then the day of me actually creating this, I already have my outline done. So the brainstorming of the 3 fast wins that my audience wants, and then me picking out which one of those I want to teach about, and then creating my outline, I typically do that before I actually start creating. So this stuff wouldn't be done on creation day. But if you wanted to do everything in one day, you could do these 3 right here in the morning. Like you can take a Saturday, bust this out Saturday morning. Then in the afternoon, you could record yourself. You could use something like Loom. If you're not familiar what Loom is a software. It's for free on your computer where it records your screen. Now, even though Loom is free, it does start to charge money after you need to record past a certain minute point. Like, I don't know off the top of my head, it might be after 5 minutes. Like if the video is going to be longer than 5 minutes, then you might have to pay for that. But starting off, Loom is free. Or you can just use something like Zoom, right? What a lot of people don't know also on Zoom allows you to record your screen. So you can take this one thing that you're teaching about, you can use a platform like Loom or Zoom, and you could put together a presentation, and you can record yourself presenting that presentation, and then boom, that could be your digital product. Or you could create a PDF teaching about it, or you could create an ebook. And even with these ebooks, I still create these in one day because I'll use a talk to text software. So I may use something like Otter. Otter.ai. What Otter does is that it records your voice and it gives you back a written transcription of every single thing that you spoke. And even outside of Otter, like a Google Doc, you can use Google Doc, which is free, talking to it, Google Doc is going to give you back the transcription of every single thing that you spoke. That's how I write ebooks in one day. I don't sit there and write out the ebook. I don't sit there and type out my ebook. I have my outline. I know what it is that I'm going to talk about. I know that I'm knowledgeable about the things on my outline. And now that I have my outline, I'll just sit there and I'll simply talk about what it is that I'm creating. And that's how I create an ebook. Even this video right now, this could be an example. I know for a fact I could take the information from this YouTube video, pull my transcription, and I could turn this YouTube video into an ebook about how to create and scale your first $47 digital product. I know for a fact I could sell this video right now through my transcription in an ebook. And how long would it take me to create this? However long did it take me to make this video? I could repurpose my words, and I know with what I know how to do, I know I could make a whole lot of money. And that is such a huge key, which we'll get to the next step. But one of my strategies, and like my main strategy, is that I make sure that anything that I give away for free, whether it be a freebie, which I really don't give out freebies, or it just be my free content, like my free content here on YouTube, I make sure that I don't give away anything unless I know for a fact I could sell it and make a profit from it. And that's why I know that my free stuff is better than other people's paid stuff. Outside of the fact that people let me know in my comments every single week that they learned more from one of my YouTube videos than like a $5,000 course that they bought. Outside of the actual proof and all the screenshots that I have of that, I just know that that's my strategy. I know that every single thing that I present on YouTube for free, I know that I could sell that in a digital product, whether it be a course, whether it be an ebook, whether it be some type of information that I provide in my community. It's credited at the top, links down in the description if you want to join. But I only give away stuff for free that I know I could get paid for. And when you start thinking about that, like your content, I promise you, things will change pretty fast. But once you do that, you simply just add a title, some punchy copy, CTA, a call to action at the end. And here's the thing about the title also, don't overthink the title of whatever your product is, because so many people, they think that they have to have some type of catchy title. Well, guess what? The title doesn't make your product hot. A good product makes the title hot. So it doesn't matter how good your title is. If you have a sucky product, people, they're going to start buying that. Then they're going to see it's sucky and they won't care about what the title is called. And then you're just going to have bad word of mouth of you selling bad products out here. And just think about anything that you buy, literally anything. Take it outside of any info that you've bought. I'm just saying literally anything. I'm sitting here with the iPad in my hand. Apple. Is Apple the greatest name for a computer company? Or did Apple become synonymous with good product and then the name of Apple took off, right? It wasn't that the name Apple made the business and the company hot. It was that the business and the company made good product, which made the name of Apple hot. So I don't put that much thought into the title, but just come up with a title in your product, and you making good content to drive traffic to that product is gonna make the title hot, not the other way around. But once you come up with some title, some punchy copy for the landing page or whatever, your call to action, let people know where to go, then you just put it on some type of platform to sell it real quick. And here's the thing also, the thing about the platform, people, they always ask, oh, what is the best platform? Listen to me and hear me loud and clear when I say this. The platform doesn't matter either. Just put it up somewhere where people can buy it. You're overthinking all the stuff that isn't gonna make you any money. So something called the 80-20 rule, right? And 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. And most people never focus on the 20% of the stuff that is really going to make a dent in their business. They stay focused on this big 80% of stuff that doesn't matter, which is, oh, what's the platform? Look, and I'm not making this up. Last week, somebody told me that the reason why they haven't started is because they're doing research on picking a platform. And then this person told me that they have been spending 8 months on researching platform. I said, no, that's just an excuse. You just procrastinate because ain't no way. And also procrastination comes from self-doubt also. Remember, I was talking about confidence earlier in this video, right? If they were confident and if they believed in themselves, ain't no way you're gonna take damn near all year to pick a platform if you believed that it was gonna work. Like, that's a self-doubt issue. Like, if you thought you were gonna make $100,000 in 30 days, you would have that thing done yesterday. If you thought you were gonna start to hit consistent $83,333 month so you can have your first $1 million year, that would have been done. Like, majority of procrastination, it's just self-doubt. You don't believe in yourself. But spending all that time on what you're going to call a MVP, a minimal viable product, that's just wasting time. And that ain't none of the 20% of the stuff that's actually gonna bring you in 80% of your results. Because it's only a few things that you gotta focus on. Then once you get that done, then all that you simply gotta do is start making content to drive people to your product. Now, all of this, including the content, you can get this all done in one day. And literally, this, from coming up with your outline, to this, of creating it, to this, making content, you could get this done. You could get this done in the evening. All right? Like, in one day, you could have your outline done in the morning. By afternoon, you can have it created and on a platform, and by evening, you can start creating content to drive traffic to it, right? All this can be done in one day. If you really want to get it done in one day, this could also take a year. If you just procrastinate on stuff that doesn't matter, it's going to take however long you want it to take. How bad do you really want it? But just like that, boom, you're selling. Look, perfection is poverty. Speed is profit. Now look, this is where most creators stay broke also, right? Let's say that they get to this point, they create some stuff, they start to make the content, and then they say, hey, I made something, I made some content, and nobody's buying my stuff. Well, you gotta be consistent with the content. Like, people really, really struggle with this. They'll be like, oh my gosh, nobody's buying my stuff. And I'm like, no shit, because you ain't promoting it. And then those same people, then they'll just try to go and buy some ads. And then they wonder why the ads don't work. And now they've lost money. They can't get anything to work. And then they just say, none of this stuff works. All this stuff is just a scam. Nothing works. Nothing works. Oh, woe is me. Like, nah, you just don't know what to do. You ain't got the game plan, baby. But thankfully, you got me here to give you the game plan, because I didn't have anybody give me the game plan. I wasted a lot of time, energy, effort, and money figuring this stuff out, so you don't have to waste a lot of time, energy, effort, and money figuring this stuff out. The great philosopher Sean Corey Carter, otherwise known as Jay-Z, once said, like I told you, sell drugs. No, Hov did that, so hopefully you wouldn't have to go through that. Like, Essence CEO's been through a lot of pain, so you don't have to go through so much pain. And the great thing with this is that you're gonna build a content engine, but you won't really have to spend that much time on creating content once you get this down. So for one, you're going to pick one platform to create this content. One, right? The reason why you want to be on one is so you can actually focus, and focus stands for follow one course until successful. So the thing is that people, they think that they can multitask when they can't, right? And even back when they coined the term multitasking, I believe they did it back in the 1960s. IBM did it, right? But they were talking about computers. They weren't talking about people. They weren't talking about humans. But then humans started to do what humans do and started to apply some stuff that ain't meant for them to themselves. And then people started to multitask. Well, when IBM coined the term, they were talking about computers. And computers can't even multitask, right? Computers that work on one task 100%, then they stop, then they work at something else 100%. But the speed of them, they go back and forth so fast that it looks like they're multitasking, but they're not. And if you didn't know, all these computers and all of this stuff with the internet and even AI, all this stuff, it's all designed off of the human brain. I'm telling you, my friend, you have a freaking supercomputer right here. You just may not know how to work it yet, but in order to get it to work for you, you have to have focus, because the brain is not designed to multitask, right? So let me get some of this off the screen here. You want to pick one platform to make this content from. I highly recommend YouTube. This is what you're on right now. YouTube trumps all. YouTube is even better than paid advertising. I'm telling you, this is somebody who in the past has spent, I don't know if I want to call it a lot of money, because I haven't spent the most on ads, and I haven't spent the least amount on ads. But I will tell you, the most money that I spent on ads in a single month is a little over $100,000. So I do feel as if I have a little bit of authority to speak on this subject here. So pick YouTube, pick one platform. Highly recommend YouTube. You can go other places, but you're just going to have a harder time in the long term of your business, because we're not treating this as a hustle. We're building an actual business, and YouTube has the most long-term advantages. And the work that you do today can be making you income for years to come. It's long-term, it's evergreen. That's why I said once you get this down, you won't have to spend so much time on creating content actually. And the content that you're going to make on YouTube, all that you're going to make is content about the problem that your product solves, maybe some behind the scenes of you creating it. You're going to be making videos showing proof, right? Whether that be proof of your product getting a result for yourself, or proof that your product has gotten results from people outside of yourself. And you're going to be telling stories, right? And this is a big one, because stories sell. Like, even if you just look at a big company like Nike, right? Nike, people think that Nike sells athletic apparel, but Nike actually sells stories. They tell some type of story behind the athlete that is the face of their products, that connects with people, to whereas then people want to go and buy the product because they connect with the story of the person. And that's how you can build trust with people, through your actual story. But people are really messing this up because they're just telling some random story about themselves. No, any story that you tell about yourselves needs to go back to the problem that you solve, to the problem that your product solves. But you want to tell that story so you can relate to somebody, so you can show them how you have came from where they are right now, which is their current situation, to where they want to get, which is their desired situation. You can show your transformation through your story, so they can trust and believe that they will have a similar transformation. But any story that you tell, it needs to relate back to the problem that you solve. You don't just want to tell some story about yourself, or even if you're teaching or giving some type of tutorial, sprinkle in some type of little story in between there that relates back to the problem that that informational video is solving, so it can connect with somebody, so they can relate to the information. And when you're thinking like this, you're not thinking like a content creator, you're thinking like what I like to call a contentpreneur, right? We don't want to be content creators. We want to be a contentpreneur, which is an entrepreneur that uses content to drive traffic to their business. So when you're only making this type of content, that means that you're only making content for your avatar. Your avatar is going to be your customer profile. So on YouTube, we make this content only for our avatar. So then YouTube's algorithm will categorize our content, and we will start to become the perceived authority in our space. So then YouTube will use its organic traffic sources, which will be the homepage, which will be the search bar, which will be the suggested, to put us in front of more people that fits our avatar's profile. That's how you actually get seen. That's how you actually get some traction on YouTube. I'm telling you, this platform is really simple, and it works once you work it. So then this will lead to people buying your offer or your digital product, which leads to you getting the sale, which leads to them getting their transformation. Remember, when the transformation business, which is that desired outcome that somebody wants, which then they will become an evangelist for you. When I say evangelist, all that I basically mean is an ambassador, right? They're going to get that transformation, then they're going to go and they're going to spread the word about it. And even in religious texts, what is an evangelist? It's simply just somebody that got a transformation, then they went and they spread the word, they spread the gospel, right? That's when you start to get those testimonials come in, and that's when you can screenshot all of that proof to show in your content to your avatar. But that will lead to more people that will buy your digital product. So this is what I like to call a flywheel. And a flywheel, it may take some initial energy and effort to get the wheel going, but once it gets going, it starts to spin faster and faster with the momentum that was already priorly built up, and you start to have a compounding effect. So with your business, not only will your flywheel start to spin faster with the momentum that you've already previously put in, your business will also get bigger and bigger and bigger the faster that your flywheel goes also. But when you're thinking like this, your content isn't just value, it's proof. And it's so powerful because you are building a system to work for you, and system stands for saving yourself time, energy, and money. You're building a system for yourself so you can get your time back and actually make more while working less. And you're building this system all off of your stacked proof through your content. I'm telling you, the compounding effect that you get on this, it's so crazy. And now you can start playing the real money game with this system, right? Because that $47, that's just the entry point. Like, think about if you go into the club, right? Say you want to go to the club, you want to get your little two-step in. Well, you paid the entry fee, but where's the money really made once they get you into their ecosystem? So you're building the system for yourself. That $47, that's the entry point. You make the real money on the back end, and amateurs get paid on the front end, experts get paid on the back end. So the real money made with your $47 products is going to be on the back end with upsells, cross sales, and down sales. So you get these people into your ecosystem, and remember, the best time to sell something to somebody is while they're buying or immediately after they bought something, because a buyer is always going to be a buyer. So you can create something that's called an order bump to offer to these people that came for your core low ticket offer. So just think of an order bump like the fries and the shake if you were at Chick-fil-A. The core product is the chicken sandwich, but the order bump is going to be the fries and the drink. So what's something that you can add to this core product that may have a lesser value to where it's kind of like you bought this and it goes with that. Would you like this? There is going to be a percentage of people that will take that. And then guess what you just did? You just increased your average order value, right? You just increased your average order value of each potential customer right there. But then right here, if you think of Chick-fil-A also, what does Chick-fil-A do once you get your chicken sandwich with your order bump? They upsell you. They say, well, you like that in a medium or a large. You don't even think that small is an option anymore. They upsell 100% of the customers. Some people just say, oh, let me get it in a medium. Just made more money. Other people say, let me get that in a large. They just increased their average order value. So you can have what I like to call an OTO, a one-time offer, something that is available at a higher price right now, but it's only available within this system. It's only available within this funnel, and you can't get this offer anywhere else, but you have to take action right now. And guess what? A percentage of people will buy that, which you just increase your average order value. But for those people that decline that OTO, that one-time offer, we downsell them the same exact product at a significant discount. So if I can give you a real world example, so say me, I had a core offer, $47. It was an ebook, right? My order bump for this ebook was an audiobook, and may have had 2 order bumps for this, but I recommend you have at least 1. So I had a order bump of an audiobook. Then I had something that was called the 10 Stack Commandments. Right, it was a short video training showing how you can get to your first 6 figures in any industry. I had an upsell of a course that I was selling for $400 at the time. Right, for those people that declined that course, I downsold them the same exact course for 50% off for $200. Right, percentage of people will take that. Well, guess what? I just made an extra $200 from the person that just came initially to spend $47. Well, then guess what I did? And this is if you want to get advanced. I say at least just have 1 upsell with 1 downsell, or at least 1 order bump with 1 upsell and 1 downsell. That's bare minimum. But if you want to get a little more advanced, I then, guess what? Just ran the same exact play. I had a second OTO upsell. And for those people that declined that, I downsold them the same exact thing. I believe in this funnel, I had something that was called a Fire Your Job Masterclass. I hosted a 3-hour live training where I was teaching people how they can fire their job. I used the exact blueprint that I used to fire my job back in April 1st, 2016. I did a 3-hour live training teaching the exact blueprint. And I charged $300 to attend that event. But even though I made money on the live event, I could have cared less if I was profitable or not on the event. What I did was that I wanted the recording because I knew that I wanted to add this to the back end of my system. Because remember, amateurs get paid on the front end, experts get paid on the back end. So even though I made money on the $300 tickets, I knew that I would make a lot more money within my system by having that recording available as a one-time offer. So in this particular funnel, I believe I offered that recording of that training for $99 as a second upsell. And then for the people that declined that, I downsold it at 50% off for like $50 or maybe $49, right? And then I had offered my community, it's crowded at the top, on the thank you page. And this is real big also, because on the thank you page, a lot of people are missing the opportunity there because 100% of your customers are going to make it to the thank you page, right? Because they want to know how they can get their product. Well, I had offered my community here on the thank you page. And guess what? Some people joined my community from that thank you page. But even if you're not selling something on the thank you page, still have a call to action, right? Still use that opportunity to tell them where to go. But this works, and this model, I got it from a store that you may be familiar with. You ever heard of IKEA? All right, the furniture store, IKEA. Think about when you go to IKEA. You walk in, you get into their ecosystem. You're typically there for one thing. I haven't been to IKEA in a while, but last time that I went to get a cowhide rug for my living room. Well, I walked out of IKEA with knives, forks, spoons, bowls, plates, glasses, and my cowhide rug. So if I just, let me erase some of this here. If I just start to draw some lines around here, does this start to look a little familiar? All right, my entry point, I come in for my cowhide rug, but then I started to see everything else that IKEA had to offer. I picked up some stuff, right? Because I'm buying, and the best time to sell something to somebody is while they're purchasing something. Then I get out the door, right? Just like how IKEA controls the customer journey, right? Because if you've been to an IKEA, you see that they have the arrows pointing on the floor. All the flow of traffic goes this one way. You can't get out because they have the big signs on the side doors that says emergency exit. If you open this door, then the alarms will sound. So they control the customer journey. They control every single thing that you see while you're there to buy something. We can apply the same things to ourselves in our online businesses. And this process right here is how you make a whole heap of money from a $47 product. And I'm telling you, you can take this to a 7-figure level, and this is the way that you get numbers coming in online in your business, like all them that you see on the screen right now. So if you're ready to make more working less online from stuff that you already know, go ahead and click the link down in the description and join this crowded at the top community. For weekly coaching from myself, all my exclusive trainings, plus a private community of entrepreneurs, all designed to grow your business online. It's only a few bucks a day to join right now, literally less than a cup of coffee per day. So click the link down in the description and tap in, and I'll see you on our coaching call this Wednesday. I'm telling you, this stuff is simple. It's not as complicated as everybody tries to make it seem. But this is how you print revenue without being loud, without being scammy, without needing a huge audience and a lot of subscribers. The $47 offer is a filter. The upsell is the engine. And so many creators are wasting their time worried and concerned about all the wrong stuff. They're spending their time filming content that doesn't convert. They're posting for attention, not action. They're watching other people launch instead of launching their own stuff. Look, you don't need another idea. You need a win, and this gets you one and gets you one fast. You don't need to be known. You need to be useful. So if I had to start absolutely again from scratch, this is what I would do, and this is what I did, and this is what I had to do again, because I have one of those stories where I was broke and made a lot of money and then lost everything and then made it back again. That might be a topic for another video, but this works if you work it, and it's proven to work time and time again. So make the decision. You want to work it, or do you not want to work it? So go ahead and click the link down in the description if you want to tap into the community. And I'll see you on my coaching call this Wednesday. Go ahead and check out this video right here for 19 tiny habits that help make my first 7 figures online. I'm telling you, they work too. It's crowded at the top.